There are a few things that I want to note before I start the video. Number one is to really hammer in the point that I'm talking about the character Dream during this video, not the real life human being Dream, and fully believe that he only acts like this on the SMP. Number two, I purposefully avoided characters like Mexican Dream and Female Dream, as this is very much a look at the canon Dream character. And number three, there might be some things that I missed due to the fact that this video was started and they might not have happened yet and I might not have been able to cover them. Alright, let's start the video. The Dream SMP, one of the most popular Minecraft series in the history of Minecraft, with its main protagonist, Tommy in it, consistently getting hundreds of thousands of concurrent viewers. It has enthralled many with its engaging story, emotional drama, and exciting action, all the while developing a unique world and many multi-layered characters. Well, it's almost like an actual show. This series is going to look at the Dream SMP from a storyteller's standpoint, view all the characters and events, and how they all come together to create a beautiful masterpiece. And where better to start than with the monolith himself, Dream. The character of Dream is one that has stayed generally the same throughout the series. He is the most powerful person on the server, by far, and with access to creative mode, has had one of the biggest impacts on the plot. He's always acted as either a primary or secondary antagonist to Tommy and the Lemannbergians, while continuing to support any side that fights against them. This is his role on the server, to be the almighty Tyrant. No one has ever truly defeated Dream. No one has ever truly been a threat to him. Sure, he was defeated by Tommy in the very, very early stages of the SMP, and sure, Tommy also got stuff during the railway skirmish, but Dream has always had an edge. He always does. There's never been a moment in the Dream SMP history where Dream has been truly beaten down, truly captured. Dream's character is defined by this. He does whatever he wants, with very little care for others, apart from maybe George and some of his other friends. Dream has no real interest in ruling the SMP, perfectly fine with being the puppeteer behind it, but hates what he cannot control, in this case, Tommy in it. These were the early days of the server. Nothing was really set up, and chaos reigned supreme. Dream at this time didn't act like the character Dream, but was rather the actual human being Dream. He was just playing on his server. He wasn't acting as his character. This is something that I've seen a lot in the SMP, especially in non-canon moments. People will just act like themselves instead of putting on the mask of their character. So I'm going to ignore some of those moments, as I don't believe it's really him in character and really goes against a lot of the things that I'm going to bring up later. The moment I feel he does become his character, though, is in the creation of Lemannberg. This is the moment where the controlling tyrant begins to appear. When Wilbur and Tommy want to found their own nation, they are completely shut down by Dream, and given the ultimatum, surrender or death. Of course, they decide to fight, only to be mercilessly beaten down, with the added bonus of Eric's betrayal hurting them even more. Tommy does lose their final duel and is forced to give up his discs, his most prized possession, in exchange for the creation of their country. But this is where we really get to see Dream's control. Even though Lemannberg, an independent nation, has just been formed, he has gained ultimate power over Tommy through his discs, allowing him to now have some form of control over his biggest threat. Dream only really has 4 moments in this arc, but 3 of them are very important to his character. The only time that I believe was mostly for content was the whole Henry fiasco, Battle of the Lake, so I won't really be counting that or looking too deep into it. But let's get into the good stuff. The first proper moment Dream appears in this arc is when Wilbur finally goes full on anarchist. Dream appears, seemingly out of nowhere, and provides Wilbur with all the TNT he could ever need. Remember, this is Wilbur Soot, the guy he had a full-on war with. They hated each other. But now that Wilbur's gone against Manberg, something that Dream can't control or has no idea what they're doing, he is fully ready to give Wilbur all of his support. Dream shows quite clearly that he doesn't care what you've done or who you are, as long as you can help him. The next moment is the dethroning of Eret. Eret was only really made king for helping take down Manberg early on. But the moment Dream senses that Eret is slowly drifting out of his control or going in a direction he doesn't like, he strikes. He dethrones Eret and installs George as the new king. And George is quite obviously a proxy. He didn't even have any ideas about the Pogtopia revolution, as he quietly built a house during the war, completely oblivious to all the violence. And finally comes the last moment. Dream siding with Jschlat against the revolutionary forces of Pogtopia. This is another example of Dream's antagonism. He doesn't actually care about what Schlatt believes in or the remnants of Manberg. He just sees his quote-unquote enemies on the other side and decides to help out little old Schlatt. It does make for some great fighting, and it would have been pretty boring just to see the Pogtopian forces crush this poor old man, but I digress. Dream then moves sides again when Techno decides to quote-unquote betray, I know, anarchy and they made a government, but this is not on him, quote-unquote betray his fellow revolutionaries to let anarchy live on. Why does Dream do this? Well, it's because he can. He's a completely removed entity in this war. He doesn't actually care about either side and could swap them at the flip of a coin. And, well, no one would be surprised. In the end, Dream has fully developed as a character by this point. What he wants, his motivations, his methods, they're all clear. And they flourish beautifully in the next arc. This is the most recent arc. I do understand that it's not over, and his character might have even changed by the time the video comes out, but I can't do much about that. Dream has really shown his character traits this season with a lot more clarity. By exiling Tommy and forcing him away, he's shown his real hatred for what he can't control. So he does all he can to well control him, slowly forcing him to discard his items, sectioning him away from all his friends, making Tommy feel like he only really has one friend, Dream. Dream also helps out Techno in the whole assassination thing, which shows once and for all that he'll really help out anyone. But this entire arc reveals something that defines Dream's relationship as an antagonist to Tommy as the protagonist. A word I have repeated over and over again throughout this analysis of this character: control. From the very beginning of the SMP, when Tommy was causing utter chaos, Dream was already trying to stop him by banning him multiple times. It didn't work. Nearly all of their interactions have been Dream trying to gain some form of control, while Tommy just runs around, being the typical loud child we all know and love. It does take a twist in the current arc, with Dream trying a new thing and nearly getting Tommy under his control. Dream is trying his hardest to slowly manipulate him into becoming subservient. He even tells us directly that this is the reason for Tommy's banishment, that Tommy just doesn't listen to him. Tommy is like that small fly in Dream's room. He doesn't hate what Tommy stands for or cares about, or any of his beliefs. He just wants to swat the fly so it can stop annoying him and he can go back to his nice, calm, and orderly life. Due to the fact that Dream has very few real direct relations with people in the SMP in character or canon, I'm going to describe his general relationship with some of the larger groups. The Dream SMP, for one, is his own kingdom. Even he doesn't officially rule it with either Eret or George being in power, well, the real power has always been with Dream. The people in the SMP have followed his command on nearly every occasion. The beginning of Manberg, the revolution. If Dream's involved in a conflict, you can be assured that the rest of his men will be along there with him. People like Ant Frost, Bad Boy Halo, Awesome Dude, who have no real relations to either side of the war, will happily follow Dream into battle. He is their true leader. It's a pretty simple relationship. This one's also pretty easy. They hate each other. From the very beginning, L'Manberg was made to piss off Dream by starting another server in the middle of the Dream SMP. Most of the wars on the server have been these two forces facing off, and with Dream being the main representative of the Dream SMP, they're not on the best of terms. Especially during the current arc, with Dream pushing President Tubbo to the brink and forcing him to exile Tommy, a decision that must have forced him to choose between the two things he valued most, Tommy and L'Manberg. With their hit list moving on from Techno to Dream, tensions are higher than ever. The smell of a new war is in the air, and the conflict between the most powerful forces on the server seems to be coming again. Now, I'm gonna include Techno here because he isn't technically a part of either side, and has some pretty interesting relations with Dream. It's not much, but Dream has helped Techno on literally every occasion, but this feels like a lot more out of convenience for Dream. Techno being anti-government and L'Manberg is, well, a government, so they do have common goals. With Dream siding with Techno during the revolution, then saving him during his execution, they seem like begrudging allies. This is probably gonna change due to Techno sheltering Tommy, and Dream looking like he's out for blood. Dream's primary character is one of a tyrant. He does what he can to keep everyone in line and in control. He never fights for himself, never starts the fight, and never directly loses. His access to creative mode makes him a near godly figure on the server, making resources one of the things he has no need to worry about. With a lot of allies, but very little friends, he's a solitary ruler who cares too little about anything to have any attackable weaknesses. The story of Dream is the story of a man who rules with an iron fist, and his never-ending goal to get rid of the small fly flitting around his room, buzzing away. Thank you very much for watching this video. Expect some more Dream SMP related videos to come out in the future, as I have some ideas for some other character related ones, as well as looking at things like the plot and the world itself. Anyways, if you want to find me in other places, I stream on Twitch at twitch.tv/hatlama, and also have a Discord where I'm consistently active. Please, come on, I have no life. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and hope to see you all around for the next one. Remember to click that like button and click the subscribe button. It helps out, especially as a really new channel.